Hello there. Today I'm going to share with you two important questions that you want to ask yourself when you're dating a man. I'm Michelle Marchant Johnson with Love Life Coaching, and I'm here to help you be that woman of high value that attracts your high quality man. Welcome. So the first question is something that you've definitely heard before. The second question is not asked quite as frequently, and I'll tell you why I think it's so important. So the first question you should ask yourself when you're dating a man is, how do you feel when you're with that man? How do you feel when you're in his presence? How do you feel when you're on a date with him? How do you feel when you're spending time with him? Do you feel safe? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel relaxed enough to be yourself? Do you feel like you can be real and vulnerable? Do you feel like you can share things with him? There's a famous quote that says, before you go running across the field of flowers into the arms of your beloved, you need to make sure that this is someone who's not going to laugh at you if you fall and trip along the way. I'm paraphrasing that quote, but it's a good example of feeling safe, feeling comfortable, feeling good in the presence of this man. Is he complimentary to you? Does he notice you? Does he listen to what you say? Does he care about what's important to you? Now I'm talking about dating over a period of time here, but this is an important question to ask. So sometimes this can happen, and all of these things can be in place in terms of when you're with a man and when you're in his presence. It can feel really good. Now, the second question is not as frequently asked, but I think it's equally as important, and that is, how do you feel when you're not with him? Do you feel insecure? Do you feel a lot of doubt about how he feels about you, whether he's going to show up again? Do you feel like there's a lot of drama? Do you feel like you're really questioning or doubting where he's coming from? And I'm talking again over a period of time, not just after a first date. And the reason this is so important is that oftentimes, if you have to ask the question as to whether or not a man is into you or whether he cares about you, oftentimes you already have your answer because you have to ask the question. Or you're getting signals that are not clear or not mixed. So, for example, for a period of time in my life, I dated a man whom I really, really, really liked. And we had fantastic time when we were together. We could talk about anything and everything. He took me on nice dates. We laughed. We had so much fun. But when I wasn't with him, I didn't know when I would hear from him again. He was kind of sporadic in his contact with me. I knew that he was sometimes seeing other people. He acted like he was really into me and cared about me and even loved me when he was with me. And yet he never moved things forward in terms of commitment or taking things to the next step. And so I felt confused, frustrated, disappointed, anxious when he wasn't with me, when we weren't together. And this wasn't just because of me being insecure. It was because I really was getting mixed signals in terms of how he was showing up when we were together versus how he would show up or wouldn't show up when we were apart. And in fact, there were a couple of times when we were in public places where it was almost like he didn't act like he really knew me. We ran into each other, and even though we had a very close relationship in one aspect, he didn't really want to publicly acknowledge that to the world. So paying attention to how you feel when you're with a man, and also how do you feel when you're not with a man, can be a really important thing to consider. Now, in the case of my husband, when he showed up in my life, there wasn't a lot of drama, there wasn't a lot of anxiety. Things just gracefully moved from step to step and progressed very naturally and gracefully. And it felt so good. The best way I can describe it is I just felt peaceful and I felt happy. and I felt so good when I was with him, and I felt peace, and I felt happiness, and I felt like I kind of trusted and knew that things were going to work in the way that they were meant to work. And I didn't wonder or doubt where he was coming from. And it was so nice, and it was such a relief. So when you're dating a man, pay attention for sure how you feel when you're with him, but also pay attention to how you feel when you're not with him. Okay, let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments below, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'll be releasing content frequently, and I want to stay in touch with you. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye for now.